in terms of the script itself, I thought here's ostensibly a political comedy, but it's really not so much about the politics themselves in my mind. It's about the human beings that get caught in the middle. And I think in that way, it's a really universal kind of movie that it doesn't necessarily lean right or left. It's really mostly about the people who are caught in between. Jon Stewart is obviously a political animal. He knows so much, and he's so well versed and smart, and understands so much of the minutia concerning politics. So I think having something like this in his hands is really important. To have somebody with that background and that kind of knowledge is obviously is helpful when you get to the comedy, because he understands it on a much deeper level than I think a lot of people do. Well, first and foremost, I think it's really funny. I think it's full of eccentric, kind of strange characters that you might not see every day. But I guess the underlying theme of it is very humanistic, and I think will appeal to a lot of people because of that. I play Gary Zimmer. He is a Democratic political strategist. He lives in DC. And one day he sees this viral video is brought to his attention that depicts this farmer out in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin who stands up in this town meeting and expresses himself very eloquently and beautifully, and seems to really stand for so many of the values that the party is looking for. So my character decides to travel to Wisconsin and convince this farmer, this really apolitical man, to run for the mayor of the town. And that's what sets everything in motion. He's very smart. He's very driven. He's incredibly opinionated. He doesn't have a weak self-esteem. He's kind of narcissistic, and at the same time, he does care about people, and he cares about what he's doing. He cares about, he cares about doing the right thing, or as he sees it, doing the right thing, almost at all costs. We're actually shooting in this really tiny town, so we have the sense of we're not on a back lot anymore. We're in a real town, and these are real buildings, and the people that we're talking to in this town are real people. A lot of the extras and some of the principal characters are from around here. So we're getting a sense of what this town is like, and it's not unlike the town that's being depicted in the film. I was terrified of Chris Cooper before I met him, because I thought this is someone who would just kill you with a death stare. He's so intense, or at least that's, you see him in films, and that's the sense you get from him. Like, do I look at him in the eye? I mean, that's the kind of person I was worried he would be, because he's such a good actor, and he's so riveting, and he does a lot without doing much at all. He's incredibly calibrated and intuitive. But then you meet him, and there's obviously, like happens so often, he's the nicest guy, and really warm and sweet, and cares deeply about what he's doing. He's a retired colonel in the Marine Corps. He's real honest, disciplined, and he's a man of great character. And I think that just kind of comes through who Chris Cooper is. He feels like he's that same sort of person, at his base. He's just a good, solid human being. Mackenzie Davis plays Diana, who is the colonel's daughter. And she is, she's this young, incredibly smart, opinionated, and a sort of a foil for my character when I get to town, because I think my character has this idea that the small town folk aren't going to quite get all of the snazzy things that he does, and she gets it, and she is way ahead of him in a lot of senses. Topher Grace plays Kurt, who is one of Gary's pollsters. Essentially, he's one of his right hand men or women, and he's playing it like he's the kind of guy that talks down to everybody below him, but cowers under everyone above him. So he's that middle management guy that really feels his authority when given the opportunity. And he's great. He's really fun, and he's a really good improviser too. Every member of the crew that I've talked to has mentioned what an anomaly he is as a director. He makes everybody, I mean, apart from all the creative stuff, just as a human being, he makes everybody feel welcome and a part of what they're doing, and like an equal partner. And it's not just lip service. He's really kind to people, and he really offers himself up. He talks to everybody. He includes everybody in on whatever process is going on. And I think people appreciate that. When you feel like you're a part of the creation of something, and an equal partner, I think that's important. This is what I like about how John wrote this. And obviously, John leans liberal. I mean, I don't think that's any surprise to anybody. But the way he wrote this film it doesn't feel like a partisan movie to me. It feels very even-handed. Like there are pluses and minuses on both sides of what's going on politically in this film. And a lot of the minuses, a lot of the political garbage that people don't necessarily see or want to see.